Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, it's Greg here again. I'm going to start off with the new T34 for the T34 group build. My sort of first attempt at doing a build video. So I'll explain to you what I've done to prepare to get myself sort of in the groove. As you can see, all these little plastic containers, I've taken all the pieces off the sprues to save time on camera, and they're all labelled with what they are, what part numbers they are. There and there. So that's all and the hole's been ready to trimmed up as well and sanded and whatever, so we're ready to go. So what we're going to do to start with, we're going to do from number 1, we're going to do number 2, and if we're lucky we might do number 3 if I'm right for time, which is there. Obviously I'm not going to put the wheels on, so we can, all I'll be adding there is probably nothing on number 3, and number 4 again is the tracks, which I won't be adding. So 1 to 2, and we'll start off with that, I think, just to break me in nicely. So I've also made the tracks up. I'm not going to use the Lincoln left tracks from the kit. I got these off the internet quite a while ago. They're called San Zin model. They were cheaper than full models. I don't know about now because of what's going on with the 20% VAT and things, but that's where I got them from. And they're a nice shiny track, to be honest, they really are. They're really nicely detailed. So I've cheated and made 2 loads up as well. I was off camera. Basically these are nice put together because they actually have pins. You don't have to cut any wire. I'll show you the pins. You don't have to cut any wire at all, which is speeds up the process. And what I've done is I've put 72 links on each one to start with, because I think it's any between 72 and 78 or 76 are links on a T34. And these are the pins. You can see them. You just take them out, put them through the hole, tap me out. What I did is, when I got them 3/4 of the way, they become tight, obviously, so they're going to hold in probably like a real thing. And what I used to tap them in with is something that I made at school. Well, God, how many years now? 41 years ago. I made a little toffee hammer in metalwork from the CSE metalwork. So I made a toffee hammer and an adjustable spanner somewhere I've got as well. I made that. So that's what I use, just to tap it in, just to tap them in firmly at the end. So that was a good little, I knew I'd built that for some reason, and there it is. Right, so let's start with number 1. Let's get all the things together for number 1. Here's the lower hole, you should see it already trimmed up and off the screw. I'd say it's quite a nice hull. It's quite a nice detail, even though this is going to be covered up most of the build. It's a lovely, crisp, fresh detail as you expect from Ryefield. Lovely weld seams. Probably too neat for a Russian tank, but they're there anyhow. Yeah, so let's start with number 1. We're going to do the, I'll just put all the rest of the stuff out of the way for now, that we don't need. Right, so we have the suspension parts, which is these ones here, and they're specific to each side, so that's why I've labelled them. So that's what I've labelled, and obviously we've got the suspension arms to go in as well, which I've labelled as well because one side is separate. They haven't got a sprocket of such, because of the tracks, the way the tracks are designed. It digs in each end and it'll spin it round. So we'll start off by doing the suspension inside with the springs. I haven't cleaned the springs up because in 99% of it's covered up, and where it's positioned inside the housing, you can't see the seam line. After I cleaned about 2 up and then decided to have it just to check, and you couldn't see it. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch cameras to the overhead camera, see if that makes any difference for building, and we'll catch you very soon. Right, we're back. Let's see if this works out okay or not. We'll have to see. So I used Tamiya extra thin as well, by the way. Sorry, I should have said that, don't I? Oh yeah. Where are we going? Where are we going? Over here. We're up here, here's to me are extra thin. Right, so let's have a look. We start off with the A1 and A3 on the left hand side, sorry, on the right hand side as we're looking. So we need A1. So we need C5 and C34. C5 and C34, which is that one there. C35, C5 and C34. I'll just do C34, which is in here. I'll just pop them up there. Can we still see where I'm at? Let's just put them, move them about there. So I will get better, I promise. And number C34, which is the springs. And basically they've got a little nub on the end to sit them down on inside the housing. So if we start off by doing this, popping those into there. See if I can do it by hand first. I can indeed. And I'll just put a touch of glue on the back. So I've trimmed all this. It saves time for me to, and for you people not to see me trimming everything. So we've got to make 3 of these. Did it make 3? Yeah, make 3. So we'll make 3. Right. Nice fit. Typical Ryefield. A dab of glue. And the capillary action, take it. And again. Ooh, come here. Excuse me. And again. So what I'll do with these now is I'll just leave them, I'll put them back in there so I know they're C5. And then make C6, make 3, which is C6. Make 3. So we've got C6, make 3 of these. 3 for now. And using 34 again. 1, 2, 3. Same fitment again. 2 marks there, very straightforward, almost fall into it. In fact, they do fall into it. Okay. On the last Ryefield kit, they built the Tiger. Yeah, that was a superb kit. It really was. The detail, the fit, everything about it was spot on. It really, I would say Ryefield are my favourite brand of tank, as I say. Followed closely by Border. I like Border stuff as well, which is a new up and coming company. So I've got those there. Some of these, I'll put them in here. C34 and C6. So I need to put it back into C6. So we have 3 of those. And then we're making C35 and D28, which are separate, which are here. Is that the right one? To go the other way. Yeah. So we can pop these in here as well. There's 2 empty containers which can go away shortly. Sorry if I keep going in and out of shot. I will get this sussed eventually, but as long as you can see where I'm at. Where am I at? Here, yeah. Okay. Right, and then we have, yeah, we've done that D25, which is that one, is it? Is that right? Yeah, that's the one. So I'll pop that there. A4. So we now get the actual the hub, the bathtub, and we start off with A1, which was the first one we built. So we're looking at it from this side. The first one will go into here, which is A1, which is number 5 on here, which lines up, I suppose. Which way does it go? Does it go that way? Yeah, it fits into a nice little groove into there. So we'll just put a bit of here. Run a bit of Tamir around it. So it's my hand in nowhere. Got a nice fit, nice and secure. And then we'll do an A3, which is this one, which goes. Does it go that way? No, it's the other one. Is that one again, so we can see where we are. We can drop a bit of secure. Then we'll do another A1, which is these ones again. So there you go. Then one, sorry, a different one. So this one is A1. Again, lovely fit again. They just sit into these little nubs, like a little hollowed out part for them. So you can just run your Tamir fin. And again. Oh, I put the wrong one in, haven't I? I put one in without a spring. I'm concentrating. Would have been a bit daft. And you wouldn't have been really able to see it though. Sorry, without a shot again. I do apologise. And this is C5. Yeah. Not really a great amount of parts for a T34 85 because they were quite, you know, easy to maintain, easy to produce, so there wasn't a great deal of working mechanisms apart from the tracks and the turret really, obviously the gun. Everything was just knocked together. Right, so that's that side. Now we turn it round and we start off with A2, which is this one's. We start off with this way. So we're doing the reverse, so I'll start with this way. Is that correct? We've got started that way, and these are going the same way, obviously. So we'll start off with this here. Pop that in there again. Tamir in there. A4, which is a 35 one. there from now. This is the 35. Okay. A2. Obviously everybody knows this is the Christie suspension, which is quite a successful design. Right, so that was fairly painless. That's what I'll be doing with the rest of the kit. I'll take all the sprues off, sorry, all the parts off the sprues, clean them all up and put them in the containers marked, and then we can just go ahead and build, save me time cleaning everything. So we've got that. It's a bit unusual, but it's there. You can see the springs. See what I mean about the springs, you can hardly see them. Plus the spring seam line is on this side, so you're not going to see the sides anyhow, so that's what we've got there. So we can move these away for now. That and that. And we can start bringing in, we'll bring C18 in, I think, which was, here we go, C18, which is the transmission cover, which is here, these little nubs. So they've positioned quite simply onto there. No big deal. Lovely fit. Clean, tidy. Just give it a press in to be sure. And again. Okie dokie. Press that in there. Okay. And then we start off with the suspension arms, which are C13 for both sides and C12. Which is, suspension arms are, yeah. Bring them all out. All these have been cleaned as well and sanded. Yeah. So if we're looking at that way on, which is the front, this is the rear, we start off with C13, which is this side, which is a fairly straight four thing. The pad goes into the spring. Maybe I should leave it a bit longer. And the other part goes into the arm, into the there again, another nice fit. It's just and again, do the same thing again. Suspension arm. This one doesn't want to stay in. Just touch it with a touch of glue there. Again. Nice clean fit again. Hopefully you can see this. I can't really see because I filmed this part from a tablet and I can only see if I look up to it. I'm in shot. I hope I'm in shot. Yeah, so they're all the same size. All the same size. So ooh, yeah. You see how it's starting to come together pretty fast. The advantage of cleaning everything up from the first get-go. And then we number C11, which is the suspension arm, which is going to be this one. Yep. And of course there should be there's a little, if you can see, there's a little nub there inside there, so it sits. The wrong one, isn't it? What have I got to put on here? Ah, sorry, yeah. See, I have a little nub there. My apologies there. That's where it's going to go, into there. Let's run a bit of glue around it. Let's put a bit more just to secure it. Right, so that's one set of arms on. I'm always going to make them workable, but for what I'm going to do, it's going to be a flat ground, so I'm going to keep the tracks. Keep the tracks off this kit for the T34 kit for the it's a Vesda one with all the pin marks in, so I'm going to do that. So let's start the other side now. Touchy glue there. So fairly straightforward, fairly simple design, but I have to say the fit is superb. I know people always say about to me being the leader in the field for fit, but recently these guys have got their kits looking superb, and the detail. I find nothing more expensive, but you do get a lot more for your money. You don't even get PE in the latest Tamiya kits, which I find very strange. I think 90% of other people do with a PE in there. But I think I've got two kits that come with PE from Tamiya. And one of them is the Italian Samato or something, whatever it's called. The like assault gun. So these guys are knocking the ball out of the park as far as what you get value for money, that and border as well. And an amusing hobby coming up as well there, sort of coming out nicely. So we've got the suspension arms on. Very straightforward, no problems. All nice fit. Just going to put this one on here now. There's number, there we go. Put that with a little nub there again. Okay. Right, so let's take my glue up. There we go. So that's part one complete. Apart from, oh no, we've got C17 to go in. These are the part for the return wheel, idler wheel, And there again, they've got a position marked on there. Can we see a little bit in there? Which corresponds to the little thing on the side of there. There we are. So that just sits in there like that. This is what I presume you would be able to adjust in real life, because it's got the teeth to adjust. So it's fairly rudimentary, and the tracks could be changed relatively fast, because say with the pins only being on one side, all the engineers or tank crew had to do was get a big and push the bolt out to get to release the track. So fairly easy maintenance compared to the German stuff, which you needed a degree in science, I think, to change that. Right, so that's number 2. That's completely number 1 done. So now we're going to do number 2, which is the back plate or the front plate? Back plate, which I've cleaned off again, which is this part here, and these 2 parts here. So it tells you to build them off the vehicle first, so that is the up and down. So these things are, these ones got the marking again just to go. The fit. Yeah, we've got a little mark in them to fit perfectly into there. Can you see that? Let's move out of the way slightly. Got that lovely weld seam round it as well, which is fantastic. The same with the other. We've got that little thing there for the groove for it to sit in. So you can see closely there, you've got that mark there, which is a part of the weld seam that actually locks it in. Makes it lock into when you get all of it without your fingers dropping off. Like that. Almost clips in there. Such a nice fit. Oh, a bit too much glue there, but there we go. So that's that part there. We've got there's 2 small parts, number C52, which is minute, which I'll put off on camera so we're not flying off, and C37, which is the looks like they're the toe eyes, the toe cable, which I've forgotten to take off a sprue. Oh, silly me. Right, so what we'll do now, we'll see what the fit is like for which one is it? Yeah, it is this side, isn't it? That way around, sorry, my apologies. It's that way around. And I see. So I was right. So, does it go underneath? There we go. Nice fit. Just need to touch that with a bit of glue, I think. There's a little gap there, but I'm not too worried about that. Not too worried at all. Just got a piece of clamp just to hold that there, I think. So the glue sets. There we go. Jiggly pokery, and we're in. Let's just put a bit of glue around the back of here as well. Fingerprint. Never mind, I'll file that dry and I'll sand it off. Right, so we've got that. Now fairly straightforward. So it's 1 and 2 done apart from the lines which I'll do off camera. And then we can start with the wheels, which I've cleaned, but I haven't put on glued this, but I'll do them now. So we'll leave that to the side for a second. We shall take the wheels. I'm not going to glue the wheels, the outer wheels on, because they're separate, so they'll be sprayed separately. But we can start off with these. So we need B2 and B4. And we need the sprocket wheels and things as well. So B1, B2, B4, B2, B4. Okay. And there again, see we have the, there should be a little mark on inside there that go into there and locks in. It's very straightforward like that. See, these are smooth. You can also see the lens, but I'm going to show you they're very smooth. So let's just drop a bit of glue. One, so many we need to make 10 altogether, obviously. There we go, once it locks in. And you're going to see them anyhow, them marks. So the outer road wheel, the outer tyre goes on top of them, so you still have to make it smooth so it lines up when you're putting the wheels together with the tyres, so the tyre doesn't look odd. You know, like if there's a piece just slightly raised on the internal wheel, it's going to knock the tyre off, so make sure you've got plenty good sanders just to take them off. But there wasn't that much cleanup because the way it came off the sprue, they were easy to clean up. So what I'm trying to do instead of doing it that way, it's I need to get into the glue, I think, shortly. Let's just see if we can do it this way. Yeah, that's easier to do. A bit stiff, that one. There we go. Nice detail on the wheels. Really nice detail you see in there. Where we at? Yeah, nice detail in there. Really is. Right. There's no poly caps on these. I haven't actually, well, obviously I haven't dry fitted the wheels because I'm building them now, but I'm sure they should be able to come off nice and easily. This one's a bit stiff for some reason. Ooh, let's look at that one. I think it might need a bit of filing out. Same with this one, a bit tight. Let's just see. I don't want to force and break it. So let's just see if it's... There we go. 9. There we go. 10. That's the 10 road wheels. And then we have the turn wheels, which I won't put together at the moment because there's a couple of small parts and I'm frightened to go ping when I'm taking them off in front of the camera, so I can still do these two parts here first. We'll do it off camera, that piece, and just get rid of all of them. They'll be all getting filled up again with the next little parts. So on here you can see there's a little groove in there that's going to sit on, or go into, I should say. I'll just push it in. There we go. So make sure you get all your wheels, you know, square and lined up as well. Once the ski with, it sends everything else off, especially on the tracks. Right. So that's the two of those. I say I'll do the other sprocket wheel off camera because there's a small part which I have to take off a sprue. So that's where we are at the moment. So we've got the suspension arms in, so the road wheel arms in, and the suspension part in there. Everything was square and nice. Apart from that one looks a bit wobbly. That's okay. Yeah, so I've got that part there. There's a little gap there which I'm not too bothered about. Everything else is square. Yeah, this needs to touch. There we go. Yeah, there's a little seam there. That's fine. Yeah, so we've got all that done. So I think I'll stop here for the moment now. Well, I'll go away and start getting prepared and all the next stuff. It'll be a couple of seconds for you people, maybe a few hours until I'm back again. So this is Greg signing off, and we'll see you very soon. Right, back again. As you can see, this is now all completely dry. It's all set up nicely, all nice and secure. So that's where we got up to, which was section 4. We didn't put the wheels on, if you remember, all the track. So this is where we are at the moment in present time. And so we're going to start off with starting on the upper hull now, which I've just done a couple of things first before I came on camera, because of painstaking, to say the least. Getting the I know it sounds silly, but to put the fenders on was a bit of a ball ache for me for some reason today. Yeah, so that's okay. So as you can see, I've trimmed all the pieces off for number 5 and 6, and have I done number 7? 6? No, I've just done 5 and 6 at the moment, so we can work through those. I'm going to start on the upper hull. See, I put the fenders on, they're okay, no problem. Cut the other ones off. So I've had to also drill four holes for the, as you can see, these holes here. And there's some supposed to be in the fenders, but obviously we're going to replace the fenders with the metal ones, so there's no holes to be drilled on that one there. So that's where we are on that bit. So let's carry on now. We're going to use that. Well, we are going to use the upper hull shortly. So I'll switch now to the other view and we'll crack on from there. I'll square this up a little bit, get more in the middle. There we go. That's a bit better, I think. Right, so yeah, we're going to start off with section 5, which we've drilled out in section 6, which is this part here. Where are we going? Where we are? We're going to start with the driver's hatch and wall mounted machine gun and some other little bits and bobs. So we'll carry on with that now. We'll do that now. So, let's see, I've cut all the parts out, so let's pick them out what we need. Tell you what, these are fantastic. Got these off what call them, scale model shop, I think it was called, and they're Dispear high angle tweezers. They were $9.95 and they're superb, absolutely superb. Probably better than Tamiya ones. You can tell the quality I feel in them, but for $9.95, probably the best ones. Oh, I can't even see where I'm at. These ones here, you can't really beat them. I really think they're excellent value. $9.95. Right, so let's take all the parts out we'll need. So we'll need that. We'll need that. We'll need that. We need that. 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 Sorry about the beeping, it's just my Facebook. I've just started the thing up, so I apologise for that. I'll wait till it finishes. There we go. Right, so we're going to start off with D14, which is this part here. So we start off with this. We're going to put number D57, which is this part here, which is all part of the vision blocks. So it's going to sit in there like so. So I shall just get a little blob of glue. Can't see it being. And they're really good for picking up, excellent for really picking up really fine things as well. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm just going to drop that in there, like so. Yeah. Have I got down the right one? Have I got down the right one or not? Good start, isn't it? Of course I have, because that goes through there. Silly lad. Yeah. And does that go, seem to go? Yeah, that's right, that's fine. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just stick that through that now. As soon as there's a blob of glue on there, you may as well get it on. Line up with them pins. I'll just take my finger, let's line these pins up. There we go, nice neat fit. Secure it round. There we go. So looking down number D49 and D50, which is part of the viewing cover things of these here. So they're going quite easily. That's a dry fit. Oop. Right, let's have a go. A little drop of glue on there while it's the other one. Oh, bugger, yeah. There's always one. Maybe just take it off camera a second, just so I can line it where the other one did. Why isn't this one lining up? Perhaps I've got them on the wrong way around. We shall see. That's a good start to there. Yeah, I think I had them on the wrong way. see, it's all fingers and thumbs. There we go. Wrong way around. Right, so that's that part. So we can just put that, leave it to dry a second, and then we're going to need to turn it over. You know the small parts, don't we? So we need D55. Where are they at? Is that D55? Yep, that's D55. We need 2 of those. 2 small ones. Then we need D43, which is that, and D45 and D53 and D54. So for that, and that. So I've got these tweezers. Right, so this should be set to turn over now. So the first thing we're going to put on is this part, which goes down. Whoa. All fingers and thumbs today. Let me just see. There we go. You see, I've still got a bit of a shake, even though it's well over 12 months since I've finished my treatment. But still got a bit of a shake. Right, so next part will be D45, which is the little handle. So I shall just pop a little blob in there. The handle faces towards me. There we go. Next D55 and D56. Which way do we go around? Okay, so is it that way around? Blob on that. Oh, right, that's a shame. Where the hell did that fly off to then? I'll just pause the camera while I find it. Right, found it. I'll put it on. Took me ages to bloody find the little thing, but I found it. Right, so next parts we're going to put these little parts here. So we'll start with this one first. And it just locks into there. Put a glue in there just to hold it where I place it in there. Here we go. Let's just line it up. There we go. Let's put a blob in there just to The same again on the other side. Fiddly bits, eh? And there again, not concentrating, put them on the wrong way. So easily done. That's better. Warts and all, as they say. And then we've got number faces inwards. These tweezers are really good tweezers. Really are. Yeah. And the last bit is when I fasten it to the upper hull, which I'm not going to do yet. So it's a sub-assembly. We shall just pop that. Let's square that up a second. And we should just leave that for now, up there to dry before I do anything else. Right, so the next part is the ball mount machine gun, which is that piece, and the actual gun muzzle, gun barrel is actually hollowed out, which is a nice touch as well. So this is fairly straightforward, he says. That goes into there. I shall just put a blob of glue behind that now. Right, let's see if his barrel will go in, which is the end that's hollow. Let's see that it's hollow. Behind my finger, look. Oh. Right, let's see if it will dry fit first before we go any further. Yep, that's fine. I'm just going to very slightly open that up. Just ever so slightly. That should be enough. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Right, I'm going to have to use a bit of brass pipe for that, brass wire for that now. Tubing, absolutely typical. We'll pop that to the side, and next time you see that, it'll have a brass tube in there, I reckon. So that's that and that. So we can bring the upper, let's put that to the side. I'll never ever find that, so there's no point even looking for it. Over there somewhere in the void. Never mind. Right, so we start off with the we'll pop these on. the toe shackle things, which go that way on. So I'll pop these on. Big part towards the top. Yep. Yeah, they're fine. And the other one. Okay, that's those two things on. I'm not going to, well, yes, these parts are what the holes were drilled out for. And they face quite clear that which way that faces. I think it'll face that way. Let me just check for a fit. Let's just see. Yeah, let's just put the bit of glue in there, and I'll pop the other side on. So all the clean of that barrel, and I go bing into the void. Carpet monster strikes again. Right, so we've got those two parts, and now we've got some parts of the louvers on the back of the engine bay. Two of those. I'll only go one way. I just wonder if it better fastening from underneath. It seems to be that way, doesn't it? Yeah. It seems to be better going that way. You little bug here. Right, so I'll put a little blob of glue there, and I can hold them open from the other side, can't I? Let's just... Oh, I'm not with it today at all, am I? Not at all. Right, so let's have to slightly open it at an angle, I think. He says. Like that, can't we? Slightly ajar. Okay. In properly. I'll just pop Another bit of extra paint on just on the tips again. Okay, that looks a bit better. So, and then we have C33 along those side parts again. I'm going to pop them from underneath. Now then, should that be there? No, it shouldn't. Certainly shouldn't be there. Missed that. Where's me? Nice and looks. I'll finish with some of these, so I'm just using them up. Yeah, all falling apart. But I'll cut them up and use them. I'm going to throw them away. Right, let's try a fit. Right through. And the same on the other side. Oh yes, yes, sod you. All fingers and thumbs. I don't know, does it say they're flat? I think it says they're flat. Right, I'm going to have to look into that later on, see what they're like. Right, so we've got those parts on, we've got those on. I don't really want to put D47 on the end of here because I'll knock it off, which is a little... This will get knocked off as soon as looking at it. That. So that's not going on at all until near the end. That I shall keep that off. So I'll put that there. I'm not going to fit the ball mount on until I make a machine gun, but let's see if we can get this. I'm going to have it slightly ajar because I have a driver somewhere which I'm going to use. I'll just dry fit this first. So I think this must go on first then. Let's just see. Certainly does. There we go. Let's just hopefully this should be still movable. It works out right. Nah. You literally sausage. go. So hopefully that should still remove. Or should it? Yeah, we won't glue it down, just let it set up first and see what it goes like. I'm taking it, put it into an open position. So that's where we are now. Let's see. C5 is done. Let's complete one page. All the bits are on, apart from the machine gun and the ball mount. We're going to put the tracks on. We could start on number 6, couldn't we? We could do number 6, which, without the, I'm not going to put the saw on. I'm not going to put those on, they're too small at the moment. I'll put the, let's see about putting the, there again, they're going to get knocked off. I might just wait with them as well. Track I've got, I'm going to use the metal track, so I need to be sorted before that's going to be added. And we've got these plate things on here to go on the inside. So let's see what they fit like on the insides. Which are here. I'm going to put that ball mount back in there with that small piece. I don't lose it. And I'll get a bit of brass tubing, hopefully, somewhere. So we've got these louvers. Not louvers on. I've got the headlights in there and the on. Sorry, the headlights are there and the on. And the saw in there, which I've got a bit of photo etch to go onto the saw. So we're not going to use that at the moment. So let's have a look at this. So it's saying to go this way on. Yeah. That's the size specific. So it looks like they are. Tight fit that. Well, need glue to keep that in. I will anyhow, I'll put a bit of glue in there. So I presume the other one will be the same. Oh, what was that? No, I don't think that's right. I really don't think that's right. That's better fit. That's it, I had that wrong completely again. Look, I'm really not concentrating today at all. Still a nice tight fit on this side though. So I'll still put a bit of glue on there. 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 And on there. So we've got those. You just start to close a little bit. Okay, and where does this other part go? T34 goes around this side. It seems a bit of a strange fit, but that's how it must go. There's a weld seam there, so one presumes the weld seam is for that. Right, so we've got those parts on, so that's basically number 6 I think we'll stay at the moment. I'll carry with number 7 in a short while. I'll let this all sort of set up first, and then we'll carry on again. So I'll put all the parts that I've not put on yet into a small container, and we'll move on to number 7. So I'll just go and clean parts off number 7 and we'll be back again. So see you in a bit. So as you can see, I've put the machine gun back on. That's from the end of the rail contactor adhesive. You can see the barrel, about the right size. So what I was thinking before myself, I was thinking about it yesterday. It's quite smooth, this texture on here. It's very smooth. So I'm going to try and do, instead of using a brush to put the Mr. Surface of 1000 on, I'm going to try this with a sponge and see what we can do, but not a lot. I just want a rolled steel texture. It's too smooth, I think. So we shall have a go and see what we've got here. So I don't want to put a lot on the sponge. I don't want to actually, you know, it's going to be like cast texture. I want it subtle. So if I just take a bit off that, and same again, just plop a bit off, like as if you were doing sponge stripping. I'm going to start from the end here and just. See. Same again, just bit by bit. So I just want to take the starting to get tacky now. Yeah, quite happy with that. I might just need a little bit more, just on the lower there. Yeah, quite happy with that. So we can see what we've got there. So we're going to continue doing that, and we'll see how we go with it. Just take some off on there and just carry on. I've actually drilled out the holes for the side handles because I'm using the brass ones, and I just didn't want to try and wear out this out again. I didn't want to just put the brass ones on and stick them to the witness marks on it, so I've drilled them all out so I can see what I'm doing. Just again along the bottom. Like so. I'm quite happy with that. I'll get that sort of a rolled steel effect. And it's going to be not as refined as a German rolled steel, I agree, but it's still rolled steel in cast texture, so I think that's about right now, I think. About that much. So we'll carry on, let's carry on doing it. We'll take it off, blob it off there, we'll start at the back again, and away we go. think the key to this is taking the first bit off. It's, you know, when you dip it, like so. I'm only using the lid, and it's taking the first bit of excess off, so you're not, you know, one big blob on to start with. So just like you would if you were chipping with a sponge, that sort of method. But don't take as much off, obviously. Just the first thing after you've dipped it in. Let's go down the bottom. And also, I've done a few bits and pieces. I'll show you them when I've done this. I've just done a few sub-assemblies off, you know, so we don't really need. I'll just check my bottle up again and get the lid onto the lid. There we go. Out the way. Yeah, just so yeah, I was saying, I was just I've done a few sub-assemblies off that on, you know, not in camera, just to save a bit of time. It's mainly just a bit of the photo edge brackets for the the front mud guards and the engine covers, the vents and things on here. I'll show you when I've done this anyhow. Again, just at the bottom. Just need to wipe it off with my finger, I suppose. I don't want too much on that. I don't want any on there. I shouldn't have really put that on, should I? Look at the towel once it's painted. I'll just do it along the the paint, something to grab hold of as well, won't it? There we go. Might as well do the other side. Right, so here. I'll look at a little brush, I think, going there. I think I want a little one to hand on that. I think this might be okay just to do it. Just to get inside there. There we go. Right, so I've got the front to do now. So instead of watching this, I'll go away and do this little bit and finish it off, and then we'll carry on with the build. So back in a minute.